This is the review for Bloody Mary. This is definitely one of my favorite episodes. So it starts off with the cold opening again. We've come to kind of know that on Supernatural after the last few. And you see some girls playing Truth or Dare. And one girl gets dared to say Bloody Mary in front of the mirror. Well, her dad tells them to go to bed. And he walks upstairs and he pass he goes past a mirror and he doesn't say anything, but we see this like nasty looking girl. Like, she reminds me so much of the girl in the ring, it's not even funny. And then the older sister gets home and she goes upstairs and she screams freaking bloody murder because there's this humongous pile of blood pooling out of her dad's bedroom. We jump back to Sam and Dean, and Sam has another nightmare about Jessica. This time she's burning on the ceiling. And this is, I mean, how many times now has Sam had a nightmare about Jessica? It's pretty common. So you know something's pretty wrong. Something is definitely haunting him about Jessica's death. Dean asks him if he had another nightmare, and Sam is like, yeah, but at least I got some sleep. So we know this has really been affecting him. He hasn't just been having nightmares, it's kind of been affecting his health, really. I mean, he hasn't been able to sleep, keeps having nightmares, and we don't even know what else. But they end up going to the town of the family from the opening, and they visit the morgue, and they have to pay for the information, which is funny because we usually see them getting information like spoon-fed to them, and he gets pretty pissed about losing money for it. And they see the dad, and the dad's eyes are like not there at all. They've been completely like disappeared and melted into this like pool of liquid blood. It's gross. And the morgue guy mission was just a little too excited about it. I think he's a little creepy perv, to be honest. Cause he was excited about exploding eyeball. So they go to visit the family. So they sneak into the house and they go to investigate upstairs. The entire time they're looking upstairs, Sam is very superstitious about saying the name. But it just reminded me of like people being afraid of saying like Voldemort's name in Harry Potter. This girl named Charlie, who is the older sister's friend, comes upstairs and catches them. They tell her that they think something happened to the dad, not a stroke. They leave and they do their super research. We jump to a scene at night where Charlie is talking to another friend. She pretends to say Bloody Mary 3 times. I mean, she says it, but she does it because Charlie's kind of freaked out about it. She screams, and we think she is being killed. She was just being done and playing a joke on Charlie, which is kind of mean. If your friend's really freaked out, if I was Charlie, I would be pissed at my friend for doing that, because that's not very nice about something so serious. But then a couple seconds later, we see the way that Supernatural presents Bloody Mary is the person's image gets caught in the mirror and kind of rift the darkest secrets of their soul, and blood starts dripping down their eyes. It's just very well done. I like how they present Bloody Mary. When her image gets caught in the mirror, it says, "You did it. You killed that boy." And then the girl collapses. We jump back to Sam and Dean has another nightmare about Jessica. He wakes up and he asks Dean, "Why did you let me fall asleep?" Which, you know, isn't something normal people would ask. And so I'm thinking he's probably had a lot of insomnia lately. If he's been trying to not fall asleep because he's afraid of having nightmares, he can't be in the most mentally stable situation right now. And Dean asks him what he dreamt about, and you know Dean knows. I mean, Dean has to know that he's dreaming about Jessica. Charlie must trust Sam and Dean at this point. I don't know why she trusts them so easily. She just met them, but she does, and she calls them and tells them about her stupid friend who said Bloody Mary and she died. And she helps them sneak into the girl's room. They find a name in her room, and they figure out that it's the name of a boy she had killed in a hit and run. After this, they do a nationwide search for any Mary who had died in front of a mirror, and they talk about how a mirror is a true reflection of your soul, and they do find a Mary. The older sister from the beginning thinks Charlie is a little crazy. They are in the bathroom of a school. She kind of thinks Charlie is a little bit like her little sister, how she believes that Bloody Mary is real. And just to prove her wrong, she says Bloody Mary in front of the mirror 3 times. And Charlie starts to freak out about that. And if I was Charlie, I would start looking for new friends. I mean, her one friend said it and died. And her other friend doesn't believe her and said it in front of the mirror in front of her. As Charlie goes to class, she starts seeing Bloody Mary, and then she gets up, and her teacher goes over to her and is like, what's wrong? And he has glasses, and she sees the reflection of Bloody Mary in his glasses. That was well done, because I wouldn't think of the reflection in the glasses. They did a really good job of getting anything that could possibly reflect. You could see Bloody Mary in it. And she calls Sam and Dean to help her, and she goes to their apartment, and they cover absolutely everything that could, like, they're living in, like, pitch black right now. And there's just a really nice moment between Sam and her, Sam comforting her. But Dean kind of goes right into it and says, what happened? Because he knows that she has a secret about something. She says she had a boyfriend, and they had a fight one night. She broke up with him, and he said he would kill her himself if she left, and she did leave, and he ended up killing himself. Dean doesn't really try to comfort her, but he just says the truth, in that, you didn't kill your boyfriend. And Sam comes up with the idea that they should summon Bloody Mary to her mirror. And Dean asks Sam, who's gonna summon her? And Sam volunteers himself, saying that he knows Mary will come after him because he has a secret. We know he has a secret about something that Dean doesn't know. At this point, we come to the token brotherly conversation that we get almost in every episode, which I love. I think that's the best part of Supernatural, because first and foremost, Supernatural is a family drama. Dean pulls over and says, this has to stop. It's not healthy. He's like, I know this is about Jessica. And he's like, that's not a secret. And Sam's like, no, that's not it. He's like, there's more. But then Sam says, you don't know all of it. You don't know everything that happened. And he's like, I'm not going to tell you because it wouldn't be a secret if I did. And Dean's kind of taken aback at this. He's kind of, I think he's used to Sam talking to him. And then they have a very open relationship. And they have conversations all the time. So I think he's a little hurt that Sam has been holding back on him. And Dean kind of forbids him from summoning Bloody Mary. But then Sam reminds him, if we don't, Charlie's gonna die. So Dean agrees. So they sneak into the antique store. And they look for the mirror, and Sam finds it. And Sam says Bloody Mary 3 times. He starts to see Bloody Mary in the different mirrors. There's about like 10 mirrors around. That had to be really hard to shoot. She doesn't come into her mirror yet. And then Sam's image gets captured, and his eyes start to bleed. His reflection says it was his fault that he killed her. You never told her the truth about who you really were. And we learned that he had had dreams and visions about Jessica dying and screaming days before it actually happened. He dreamt it would happen. His reflection says, how could you leave her alone like that? Image in the mirror is telling the truth, in that he did see what was going to happen a few days before it did. So we know something weird is going on with Sam. He's not completely normal, but Dean finally comes back, and Dean breaks her mirror. But that's not the end, because Mary comes out of it, like the girl from the freaking Ring. And she looks like she comes out and she does these like jerky movements like this, and her hair is like all in front of her face, and she's freaky. And then Dean's eyes start to bleed. I know there's two theories on why this happened. One is that because Mary is completely out of the mirror, that anybody around her their eyes would start to bleed. I don't believe that's true. I think Dean has a secret. I think Dean has a lot of secrets. We don't know what the secret is. I'm pretty sure we haven't learned what the secret is yet. And I want to know. I know Eric Kripke has talked about it before, how he's gonna bring it up sometime, but he left. He's no longer involved with the show. Sarah Gamble is, so I hope Sarah Gamble gets on that ball soon, because I want to know what Dean's big secret is. So anyways, Dean holds up the mirror and melts. Now her soul of the soul of Mary is trapped, and her eyes start to bleed, and she melts into glass and melts like, and then like breaks into glass, which is fitting. I think that's a fitting ending. And then Dean makes a joke about how this is like 700 years bad luck, and I love how like nonchalant he is about it. We come to the next day, and they drop Charlie off, and Sam says that she should try to take care of herself, which, you know, I love how he can tell everybody what they need to know, but he can't or make himself believe what he needs to. But Dean does. Dean punches him, kind of, you know, brotherly punch, and says, you know, that's good advice, you should take it. And then they leave, and Laugh I Nearly Died is played by the Rolling Stones, and it is a perfect ending for this episode, because they did almost die, and Dean laughed about it. Like I said, Supernatural chooses their songs really well, and Dean says, you know, I want you to tell me what that secret is now, and Sam says, you know, look, you're my brother, and I die for you, but there's just some things I need to keep for myself. And that's true. I mean, everybody has secrets, and everybody needs to keep some things to themselves for a while. Especially Sam, because he is not really sure what's going on with himself. So I think he needs to come to an emotional understanding with what's happening before he talks to Dean about it. And they drive out of town, and Sam sees Jessica's image. And I think that might be a way of Sam letting what happened go. Or Sam sees her, and she's peaceful, and she's in a white dress, and she's kind of smiling. It's just a way for Sam to relax about it more. There were a lot of secrets in this episode. You know, some came out and some didn't, and some we'll find out in later episodes. Grading. Character development, 22 out of 22. We learn a lot about Sam, that he's still dealing with Jessica's death. There's a lot of great moments between Sam and Dean talking. Good balance between emotional pull and action driven, 17 out of 17. I think they do a great job of getting us invested in the guest characters this week. And then the action with Bloody Mary, very well done. Effective use of music, 5 out of 5, like I said. Laugh I Nearly Died was a perfect way to end this episode. Makeup and special effects, 10 out of 10. The girl is freaking insanely scary. And, like I said, she reminds me of The Ring, which freaks me out. I've only seen that movie once, and I still have nightmares about it sometimes. Overall story quality of the week, 27 on 27. This is one of my favorite standalone episodes. I think it has very sharp writing, everything is very tight. It's a very tight narrative, very, very good. And I like how you learn a lot in this episode. Monster of the Week, 10 out of 10. I like it when they use classic lore monsters, and I like what they made different and what they kept the same. It's very good. Acting, 5 out of 5. I never have a problem with acting. Contributing to season launch arc, 1 out of 4. As much as I love this episode, it's pretty much a standalone episode, except for the Jessica bits. But totals 97A, A+, excellent.